All right, it's time to call to order the best Rotary Club in the. All right, starting off with my inspirational quotes. I'm keeping them shorter here because I think you're all inspired humans. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood, from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I was taught that the way of progress was neither swift nor easy, Marie Curie. And finally, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough, Mae West. I like that one the best. And our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And our four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Maggie, do we have a song?
We do. I was informed that we are doing very well. The Mariners are doing very well. I don't watch baseball, but we're going to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game because I think everybody knows that song.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. All right, thank you. All right, let's have a seat. And we are looking for visiting Rotarians. Does anybody want to introduce Stephanie? Christina? One of our, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I would like to introduce Stephanie Huber and Dina Kindred, who are joining us today.
Thank you. And do we have any guests of Rotarians? Any guests? All right. Going on to club business and announcements. We're going to start right off. We have a check to present today, and I'm going to ask Louis to come up and get us started to present our check. And David, Bricka, would you mind taking a couple pictures when we do our check? I appreciate it. Or Ruth, did you want to do pictures? Perfect. Come on up, Louis. And here's your big check. And there's the real money.
Well, today we have with us Bob Nielsen. He's the current president of the Wildcat Steelhead Club. We have some money to present to him and the club. They're going to build a dock up at the pond, and I'm going to let Bob express a little bit of the history behind it and what they're going to do.
So if you don't know, the Wildcat Steelhead Club has been doing a kids fishing derby up at it's recently named Thompson Pond at the Olmsted Park now. All new names, right? It was just called the Northern State Pond forever. But 1945 is when they first started doing that kids fishing derby. So I think it'll be 80 years next year. Been doing that kids fishing derby. We get around 250 to 400 kids on average showing up to that. All sorts of fun for the kids. But what's going to happen with this money is we're going to put a dock on that pond up there. Hopefully get more kids active and fishing and possibly swimming in that pond too. We'll see. Anything else I'm missing?
Pardon?
Anything else I'm missing to talk about?
I might give them a little bit of history on how long it's taken you to get to this.
Oh yeah, this is, I think Ruth kind of talked to me about this. It's always been a pipe dream for the club to get a dock on there. And she'd mentioned that with the Olmsted Park, that one of the city engineers had talked to her about it, get a hold of me, and we just kind of started working on it about 2 years ago. I think we started working on this. Between permits and everything else, it's been quite the ordeal, waiting and getting bids for dock builders. And finally, the Construction West is the one that's going to build the dock. They're the ones doing all the work up there right now, and they seem to be the best price. So hopefully it's a good dock with the money that's going.
And you have secured the permit.
Yep, we've got all the permits secured finally, got materials ordered. It should be put in the next few months. So.
All right. Bob, we're gonna do our. There, get you in the middle there. You got it right side up. Did I spell everything right?
Right side up.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, thanks. Yeah, this would be weird to take into the bank.
Yeah.
So you got the other one. All
This
right.
one, huh? Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, sir.
Lance.
Appreciate it. So in his typical form, Louis did not forget this. He reminded me several times at Rusty Zipper and at different things about the dock, and we made sure it happened. And this had been on Ruth's plate. And as soon as I touched this, yes, we have the money. We're just waiting for them to get to it. So I'm glad we finally got this moved forward. So next up is just a reminder, the Clear Lake Historical Society Open House is going to be on September 27th this weekend, 11 to 3. We have our next board meeting right over here at the Senior Center on October 14th at 5:30. We have a Christmas party Friday, December 5th, and immediately following this meeting, we're going to have a quick Christmas party meeting. So if you're involved in that, Becky has asked that you stand by and we'll meet right in the back. And let's see, and a reminder, Team October. Anybody here from Team October? Sam, you got a great rep. Oh, this is all you need, right? Just a reminder, you're up, but it sounds like you've got your programs lined up and all that. Excellent. Thank you. And I have a certificate to present, a perfect attendance award for Christina Trader, who hasn't been here in quite some time, so that I could present this. But she is a loyal follower online. Christina? Thank you much, ma'am. All right. And let's see. So one of the things that I brought up, or I've kind of have been going through my head, and I'm going to present this at a board meeting to get some feedback, is we've already got one meeting a month. We're tying up on like the board meeting recap and just some board and club related stuff. The second thing I'm going to add is another one of our programs during the month is going to be, and actually, I don't know how to explain this. Bill McCann actually questioned me on energizing. I wanted to do some programs that'll be a little bit more energizing for the club. And I didn't really answer your question, did I, Bill? Right. And I thought you would like the legal precedents that I sent back to you as to how I'm going to determine that. Preponderance of the evidence, proof beyond a reasonable doubt, that kind of thing. So what I like to do is have, and I heard this at a president's meeting that Stephanie had this last week. One of the other clubs, they do like a member spotlight. And that might be something about what your local business does, what any local business does, that we want to bring in and just talk real quick. Not a full program, but a member spotlight. But also getting back to some interesting stories from some of our Rotarians about projects we've done in the past, club history. Louis told the story a couple of times that I've heard bits of it about the clock tower downtown and how all that came about. Once we get some of our members that aren't coming to our meetings anymore, once they stop coming for whatever reason, we're going to lose some of those stories. And I'd like to have some of them come up and talk about some of our projects. We're going to talk about projects. So one meeting will be the board recap. Another one will be a little bit more what I call energizing, is trying to get things going kind of what we were talking about today. We got the mayor come in and talk about what's going on with the city. I'd like to have somebody from the school district some point come in and talk about what's going on at the school district. It'd be kind of nice to get some of our local builders to come in talking about all the growth and all that has been going on in the city. What kind of things are they seeing? What kind of things are they doing? And it's just stuff like that. So we're going to be looking for, I guess, topics from the club. What would you like to see? What would you like to have us bring forward and bring to the club? And it'll open us up a time at either one of those meetings to have like your monthly team plan on meeting. I'd also like to get some of our groups changed around a little bit. How many of you sit in virtually the same spot at almost every meeting? A lot of us do. Yeah. Oddly enough, it's that table. It would be nice to intersperse some people and get people to know things. Mark Nielsen said it very well at our Rusty Zipper meeting on Tuesday. He and I never really got to know each other until we started working on the cabin down in Clear Lake. We got to spend some time talking to each other, working together, and get a little bit more fellowship. So I'd like to include that as to that other meeting during the month. So something I'm throwing out there, we want to try to just kind of change things up. So I'll be looking for your input on that. And you can send me an email on that if you have some ideas right off the top of your head, or if you think it's a lame idea, go ahead and send it, and I'll take that into consideration. I appreciate it. So with that, I think that's all of the announcements. Maggie, are we doing a raffle?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
we are.
All right. I'm going to step away from here and help Maggie out at the raffle.
I think.
All right. First up is number 30, 30, number 30. We're gonna do 4 today, as we did a pretty good sales today. Don't break a wine bottle. One got broke last week on the spin. And if you get 10, the president pays $10, the sergeant at arms is going to fine you. Looks like a Shelly Shack $25 gift card. We will dig that out and get that to you. Thank you. All right, next up. All right, next up is number 8. When I started the police department way back in the 1900s, my number was George 8. Number 8. We got to wait for, we got a couple of gimpy guys in the club. We got to wait for Steve to, what was that? Is that David's? He's gonna face the wheel. And what's he getting? What's he getting? What's he getting? What's he getting? $30 cash. Oh, he's folding it back into the club, or he's giving it to Maggie. He wasn't real clear on that. All right, and the next one is 32, number 32. All right, let's see the proof. Let's see the proof. He's got the proof in hand. There we go. What's he going to do? We have Big Dumper beer. There we go. Oh, and Eric, were you going to show him your Superman or your Big Dumper? Yeah, he's got that on his shirt on. And our last one. Number 22, number 22. You don't show up forever and you win? Okay. Don't think this is going to happen every time.
It won't.
All right. And Sergeant at Arms. There you go.
Gotta get my handy dandy phone out. Okay, so this is a little bit different than last week, but I do have one question to warm everybody up. If you have not brought in your Rotary silent auction silent auction item, $1. So that should be everybody.
I prompted her to do that.
That would be lovely. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go start with this table. Without looking at the handbook, do you know your team, like monthly team? July, okay. No, okay, perfect. So do you know who your team captain is? Who? Schweiger, Ellie Schweiger. You okay? You guys got off scot-free. How many times is our Rotary website addressed in the handbook? Yes. Where are they in the handbook? That's not close. If you guys didn't have Ruth, would anybody know? Okay, so then pay $2. Ruth doesn't have to. Okay, first question. How many QR codes are in the Rotary handbook? One? Okay, you don't have to pay any. Everybody else has to pay $1. You have to pay $2 because you said 0. It was 2. There are 2 QR codes in the Rotary handbook. This table, what are the QR codes for? Oh, no, sorry. What are the QR codes in the handbook? What do they take you to if you were to scan those QR codes? They take you to specific places. Everybody pay $2. One takes you to programs. One takes you to programs, how to upload a program. And the other one takes you actually to the 50/50. Ah.
So this next table, you might want to ask them if they know what a QR code is.
All right, are you?
No.
Oh. Okay. This is still a good one for this table. Did you know that there is a Club Runner app for your phone? I didn't. So Ruth put it on for you. Okay. If it's not downloaded on your phone, pay $1. But it's on your. Okay. And then the last question is for this table and for anybody who's online. Okay. What date is the auction? It's a trick question. Our book has 2 dates. The actual date is May 8th. So everybody mark your calendars for May 8th. Do you know where it's going to be? Good job. You guys only have to pay $1. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, Happy Bucks.
Yep. It's at St. Joe's Center. Yeah, at the Catholic school. Happy Bucks.
You may end up being fined a little bit. Couple of things. On my birthday, my kids took me down to see the Savannah Bananas. Now, have we paid for birthdays this month? I don't think so. So I'm going to pay $2 of this in for birthdays, and you're going to be fined for not doing that. Also, the rest of the money goes just happy for the Mariners and happy that we survived that trip without any real problems.
Hey, thank you to everyone that came out to the work party at my house a couple Saturdays ago. They did great work, a lot of good fellowship, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope they did too, and I'll bid on it again. So hold on to your wallet if you want to bid against me next year.
I have a couple of Happy Bucks. It's a little bit long time coming, but I haven't been here in person. I'm happy because I finished up my law clerk program after 4 long years, thanks to Brock and Tim. And I officially found out that I passed the professional ethics exam, so I'm on my way to the bar exam come February.
Couple of bucks for being an early leaver, and then we got back from a fishing trip up in Alaska. Got to go up with my son and my dad, so 3 generations of us on the river. It was a great week last week.
I Venmoed $10 so Dina could talk.
I'm Dina Kindred. I work with Christina. I'm our Vice President of Community Engagement for Boys and Girls Club. And we have our biggest event of the year coming up on October 25th, our Great Futures Gala at the Corporate Air Center in Burlington. And we are looking for volunteers. So if you are interested in coming to our event as a volunteer, you get to enjoy the event. You get to have dinner with us, all while helping us throughout the evening. Christina has my contact information, and I'm happy to leave some business cards as well. Thank you.
I also Venmoed $10, but I think I lost a couple of bucks somewhere. So yesterday, Shelby Cutie Pie Richardson had her first day at Western, and she had such a great day. And if you've known Shelby, like most of you have known Shelby her entire life, including through my pregnancy, you know she is probably one of the shyest, most introverted kids you've ever met. She, for the scholarship interview she had last year, it was tears beforehand. She made it through, and she's like, thank God for her valedictorian speech. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know. It was like up until the time she walked up on stage, I wasn't sure if she was going to actually say a word. She got through that. And yesterday, one of her classes, they had to sign up for a speech. And the first day is sometime in October. And she went in and she said, Mom, I decided that I'm going to be the second person in the class to do it, because if I can speak in front of over 1,000 people in Sedro Woolley, I can definitely speak in front of 80 people at Western. And that's the sort of life lessons that these kids learn in our school district. And I know I work for the school district, but I'm speaking as a mom. If you had told me that she would be on stage when she was a shy little kindergartner, who had to be walked in all the way until 5th grade by her dad with a special handshake, that's how bad it was, that she would be up on stage or the second person to speak in a college level class, I would have said, no way. So it's pretty phenomenal what our district is able to do for every kid. And I love it. Sorry. Yeah, I know.
Anyway, I gave a happy 20 already for a couple of things. If you notice my tie here, I think I've had this for probably 40 years, right? Do you see how thick it is? I mean, it's really a thick tie, but it's a Mariner tie. And I think this is only about the third time that I've actually worn it because I wait till they actually make the playoffs. So, but they're really playing great. And speaking of like ties, let's all look right over here to David Bricka here. Stand up, David. Stand up, David. So, doesn't he look good in that purple and gold? Great. Nice job. Thanks, everybody. 59-24. No, we have to.
So here's $10 for, Brock and I, we've been doing this for what? Close? No, 25. It's been about 25. Shut up. It's a fun bet for now, non-conference game in September. That's what it's for. But I want to talk about the Richardson kids, Shelby and Hunter. They both work at Country Meadow Village, both their first jobs. And Hunter has stepped into a leadership role over at Country Meadow Village. We started a point of sale system in the dining room, and he has been hands-on and has really worked really hard on that. And Shelby, we had a meeting on Tuesday, and I asked her when she was, when does school start? She said tomorrow, and we all just screamed and cheered and watching your kids grow. It's just been so much fun, and we love having them out there. So, and yeah, you too, Brock.
I got to leave early. I know the mayor does a great job, but we decided one of our log trucks should leave its load in the middle of the road down in Arlington, and I got a few people at my office want to talk to me, so I got so I got to go.
I got a few bucks. That last Friday morning, I was fortunate enough to have the fish whisperer take me to his honey hole at the river. We're standing 15 feet apart, casting in the same direction. He was pulling them out, and every now and then I'd get one. He caught how many fish that morning? Several that we caught and released. Let's put it that way, right? Yeah, but he's just out fishing everybody down there. I don't know what it is, the scent of his fingers or the lure he's throwing or what, but he's just reeling them in. And out in front of us in the middle of the river, there's a log jam. And I'm casting out there and I go, crap, Louie, I just caught a stick fish. And I'm holding, just trying to pull it, and it just not moving anywhere. So I'm kind of backing up, reeling in, trying to break the line to get it back. The darn thing starts moving. And it literally we never did see it. And it methodically ran up river for about 40, 50 yards. And I'm thinking it was a sturgeon or something, because it wasn't a king, because it was no thrashing, any of that, just pulling away. So thanks for the experience, Louie.
You're welcome, Rick. I have a happy 5, and not because I didn't have to pay $1 about the auction items, but Brock, was I the first one to bring an auction item in? 5 Galen Larson floral prints that Joanne, when she changed the whole scheme in our house, she said, send these to the auction. So it was her fault. So we got 5 Galen Larson prints coming up for the auction.
That's it. All right, now it's time for early leavers. We got Mayor Julia Johnson going to step up to the mic. Do you need a hand mic or just you're gonna do the? You know somebody that can do that.
Thank you. Yep. I think I'll be able to. I'll be able to do this. Well, hello, and thank you for having me back to speak. 2 words, go Mariners. Unbelievable, huh? We're headed to the playoffs. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. And I think David's probably already taken off, but I wanted to let him know that he actually wears that tie with a lot of grace. I mean, for somebody who has to wear that year after year after year, skip a year, year after year after year, year after year, I think he does that with a lot of grace. So wanted to make mention of that. Last night, the city council approved a stupendous gift that came from the Rotary, and that was the 16 picnic tables that you have provided us. I'm pretty sure that most of them are going to be going up to Olmsted Park, but we do need them all over in the other parks. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. Thank you so much for being so gracious and being such great partners with the city. I also wanted to thank you for being very patient regarding the road work that we did. At the same time, on Township, State, West State, Warner, FNS Grade Road. Did I forget any of them? I mean, all at the same time. You couldn't go anywhere around the city where you were not stopped or riding or driving on roadway that wasn't very conducive to tires. So anyway, thank you very much for being patient with that. So guess what? We're going to be 127 years old on the 19th of December. Can you believe that? Our city is going to be 127 years old. We've grown quite a bit since then. Our first mayor, does anybody know who our first mayor was? Charles Bingham, Bingham Park, named after him. And our population has also grown. So in the time that I would say 2010, we started out with about 10,500 people. 2020, a decade later, we were at 12,400 people. And believe it or not, in 2025, they're estimating we're going to achieve 13,500. I think we're at 13,002 something right now. So growing at a rapid rate. The average age here in Sedro Woolley, believe it or not, is 35 years old. So we have a lot of young families, and that's really good for our city, simply because that means that we have a lot of opportunity to see some real change and growth and development that happens here. It'll be good for our economy as well. The average household, people have asked me that. Believe it or not, for the household, it's about 72,000. Individual income is about 41,000. So that's kind of where Sedro Woolley stands on all those metrics. You know, Benjamin Franklin once said that without continual growth and progress, words such as improvement, innovation, achievement, and success, they have no meaning. And we certainly have within the last, I would say the last 20 years, since 2008, we have really grown. We have, even during the recession, we continued to build homes. Other cities, not so much, but we were actually the leader in the building of homes, the development of family-style homes, I think for about 10 years. Burlington just surpassed us, and they're doing that with apartments, living units, but we're doing really, really well. The graph that I have up here, I want to show you that as far as the division of what we have as far as modalities, the blue signifies single-family homes, the orange is apartments, townhouses, duplexes, triplexes, and the gray is a mobile home. And there we go. There we go. Got kind of excited with this, I guess. So during the recession in 2008 to 18, Sedro Woolley really did, like I said, continue to grow. We really continued to develop. And at last night's council meeting, what we discovered was that we're in a position that we're not really comfortable with, but something that we're actually obligated in order to do by the state. And Senator Wagner is probably very familiar with this. And that has to do with the new Growth Management Act regulations. So we have, along with all the other cities in Washington State, been mandated, literally mandated, to have to make certain changes within our cities. It's a PowerPoint in and of itself, so I'm not going to go into it, but I wanted to let you know how it's going to impact you, how it's going to impact Sedro Woolley. So what they have asked us to do is actually reduce the minimum lot size. They want us to allow for a greater variety of housing types and shelter styles, which is fine. We were already on that path. We've been thinking about that and doing that for quite a while. They want us to reduce parking minimum requirements. They want us to build high density along transportation routes. They want us to increase mass transportation, and they want us to decrease using our vehicles. So it's a move towards being, I guess, more efficient. But it's also something that's been really hard for both my staff and the council to swallow, simply because it means that we're actually going to have to change up our city in a way that we don't really have a say-so in. I think what we found shocking last night was that we were told that if we do not do this, then we're going to be penalized. So that could mean a lack of funding or grants that come our way. And as the senator will tell you, every city relies heavily upon the funding that comes in from the state, the grants that happen. That's how we build our roads. That's how we build our parks. That's how we actually do much of what we do. Some of the buildings that you're going to see here in a few minutes, that came from funding from the state. The state supported us with that. It made it happen. So we're kind of, between a rock and a hard place. I do know that we have the chance to reevaluate in 5 years. And my hope is that things will kind of change up. We'll get more of a balance down in Olympia, and maybe we'll be able to change some of this up, because really it feels very restrictive. And some cities have already been penalized because even though they've submitted the comprehensive plan, and a comprehensive plan is the city's vision for the future, and it includes land use, housing, transportation, capital, facilities, and also economic development. They've submitted them, and they've been told that unless they go back and really tighten it up and do the requirements that the state has asked them to do, then they will be penalized. So I'm putting it out there to you, Senator Wagner, because we really look to people like you to be our voice down there in Olympia. And this does feel very restrictive. And I don't feel very proud being a mayor standing up here and telling everybody here that you are obligated to do something that the state is requiring you to do, and there's nothing that you or I can do about it. Moving on to the Port of Skagit. So there's some really fun and wonderful things that are happening up there. Right now at the Port of Skagit, they are getting ready to refurbish the chapel up there. They have refurbished many of the buildings. They're looking at the nurses station. They've talked about many ideas. They have different visions for that. One being as bed and breakfast, or maybe even a boutique hotel. But they have some really great vision that's going on. I don't know how many of you were up there for the concert that happened during the summer. It was the first time that the Port has hosted a concert up there at the Swift Center. There was a couple of bands, there were food trucks, there was a beer garden, there was even a place for children to play, and big children as well. So it was a lot of fun. And I hope you had a chance to take advantage of that. So those picnic tables that we were talking about, this is where many of them are going to be going. Memorial Park, our beautiful Memorial Park with a spray pad, was finished last year. We have finished phase 1 and are finishing up with phase 2 of Olmsted Park, which I'm very honored to say that I had the opportunity to name that park. And I did it because I gave it that name because it was the Olmsted brothers who designed Northern State. And the park sits right in front of the Swift Center, what used to be Northern State. And we are actually building our shelters and the caretaker's house to have red tiles so that it mimics what's happening up at the Swift Center, and it'll just be a flow. So when you pull in, as you're pulling up and into the Swift Center, it'll feel like it's all one. It'll feel cohesive. We are going to have a ribbon cutting in October. Well, we'll be inviting Rick Larson because he did help make it possible for us to acquire part of our funding. He helped us acquire $500,000 for it. This park has been extremely expensive, which has been shocking, but I guess not when you think about how everything else has been going up. But anyway, so we're excited about that. If you haven't had a chance to drive up there and take a look, I wish you would, because we already have our shelters up. The caretaker's place is completed. I think the restrooms are completed, and the parking isn't in, and so we're getting there. So this bridge, Yes, thank you. The stock that we're going to be putting in is going to be much welcomed and much used. And I'm excited that the park will be completed because I think it'll be even grander for the children when they come up and they do fishing. So yeah, thank you for doing that. Wanted to talk a little bit about the Northern State Trails because Skagit Trail Builders, which have been here since I came on as mayor, have been doing a fantastic job building trails, building bridges. In fact, they just had a ribbon cutting here a couple of weeks ago on the Song Sparrow Bridge. Absolute beautiful bridge. The beauty of these trails is that they also connect with Veterans Park, and they are also going to build a trail that will come into Olmsted Park. So you could literally park in one park in like an Olmsted, and you can walk all the way over to Veterans Park if you wanted to. So it's kind of connecting that. It's making it some place where people can ride their bikes, walk their dogs, and walk with friends. Something that's very exciting. We are also going to be, I'm on several committees, and the committee that I am on now is with Skagit Parks Department. There's several of us, both elected officials and also community people who are looking at different sculptures. What kind of sculpture do we want up there? We have the money. We want to put a sculpture up there. We want it to kind of tell our story, provide the history. So we've asked Jay Bowen we've invited him in, and he joins us on Zoom. He's actually living down in New Mexico right now, and he's going to be designing it for us. So more to come on that. I wanted to share the public work buildings again. I know that I shared this the last time that I was here. We're just so excited about these. For many, many years, our employees were sitting and working and eating their lunch and doing their work in buildings that were built 100 years ago. And in fact, some of the buildings were so small and our trucks have become so massive that a lot of our trucks were sitting out in the elements. We even had people who were working on trucks lying outside on the elements, underneath those trucks, working on them. I mean, working out in the elements on the ground when it's wet, when it's cold, was just not acceptable. And that was something that the council really felt strongly about. So very proud to say that we have moved forward with these. They were completed a couple years ago. What you're looking at right there is the Streets and Parks building. And if we move forward here, let's see, this one right up here is the wastewater treatment plant, and this is inside the wastewater treatment plant. It's where they do their testing. Something that I think is important to know regarding this is that we are at end of life with our sewer. It's over 20 years old. For the last couple of years, we've been putting over $1 million into it in repairs. Not to worry, that's all good. We have the money to do it. We plan for it. But we are getting ready to do design. We're hoping in 27 and 28 we'll be able to build a new treatment plant. It needs to, accommodate the growth that we are experiencing here, which is unusual because I got to tell you that on a national average, population is decreasing, and especially among those who are 40 and younger. People just aren't having children, or they're only having one child. So the population is decreasing. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out within the next decade, and especially within our economy. But anyway, back to this. Since Senator Wagner is here, I want to shout out to him and also to Representative Eslick and Representative Lowe. They actually helped bring forward funding so that we could also build a storage facility for our vehicles. Many of our vehicles are hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we want to keep them in the best shape possible. So not leaving them out in the elements is ideal. And now we'll have a place where we can actually store them. So thank you, Senator Wagner. I want to say these two guys are great. Wish they could be here. One is out sick and the other is actually at a training right now. But they work very hard within their departments. And when you want to talk about safety within the city, it's these two departments that really make it happen. I want to thank you all for helping pass the levy. The levy lid for the fire and EMS has been tremendous help. We've been able to add an additional 8 firefighters and EMT. We've been able to purchase equipment that was much needed. And we've also been able to purchase ambulance and a brush truck. And we also received our recent fire truck. So these are things that are much needed. I don't know if you know this, but we are required after so many years to retire our trucks, our fire trucks, even if they're still in great shape. I think, yep, you know about that, don't you? Because you've sent some of them down to South America, right? Yep, yeah. Yeah, we have a couple of fire trucks. This one is the one that this is our ladder truck here. The new truck that we have just came in on February of this year. Yeah, yeah. And it only took 2 years beyond the time that we had ordered it to get it. But it's here, and we're happy about that. Within the police department, they're doing really well. The chief was here and he shared that with you. They're working on acquiring an SRO officer for the schools. That's really been quite a process, and it's been more challenging than we had actually thought it would be. And we've actually brought on K9. You actually got to meet Yogi, very, very sweet dog, and a wonderful addition to our department. So I just have a few things up here. These are just other projects. I want to focus first on the battery energy storage system, BESS, and the Washington State Energy Facility Site Evaluation Council. That is something I'm talking about, the battery plant that's going to be going in just a half a mile here. I and my council have been writing a lot of letters. And I was actually interviewed by a station. It was really, I had to laugh. They interviewed me for 30 minutes and I was on there maybe 5 seconds. It was like, poof, that was it. But they were talking about the battery storage plant, and I'm glad that they were, and the dangers that are behind it. We are really pushing the Washington State Energy Faculty Site Evaluation Council, that's the FACS, to consider moving that. Where it's going to be sitting is on agricultural land. That is not where it needs to be. We understand that there needs to be more power, more electricity, but it should be on industrial land, not where we are, not where our salmon are at, not where our livestock are at, not where we plant plants, and certainly not within a half mile of several schools that we have here in Sedro Woolley. So we have our attorneys on it. We've actually partnered with the Upper Skagit tribe. They've been very influential, very grateful to Scott Saylor, who's representing the tribe and whom I've been working with. He also has written the governor, and I believe that he has a meeting with one of the staff from FSEC. So we'll see what happens there. He and I just keep each other informed as we hear from the state. But this has been ongoing, and I really don't know what the outcome will be. We're hoping for the best. So I wanted to update you on that. John Liner, the roundabout, I get a lot of calls regarding that, and probably for good reason. It's taken us much longer than we had intended to get that completed. So it's on 9, where Township and 9 come together, and then McArgyle and John Liner, right near the 2 schools. Not ideal, but it will be once we get it done. But that is scheduled to be done hopefully by mid-October. So like I said, it's just been taking us quite a while to get it done. We are not doing it. We contracted it out. I know that our Public Works Director, Bill Bullock, has been extremely frustrated regarding the lack of efficiency. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up regarding that. And then I'm going to do a plug. I'm going to shamelessly do a plug. So I and the council, we have put together an arts commission, and an arts commission in our case consists of 7 individuals, and we are looking to do projects. And if you have seen the sign that is on Jameson and Highway 9, we actually had them take the sign, cut it down that was alongside the road on 9 as you came into Sedro, and just place it there as a welcome to Sedro Woolley. Our hope is that we can actually put in a very nice wooden sign that says welcome to Sedro Woolley, something that would be very inviting. And the problem is the funding. So you're probably asking, why isn't the city chipping in on this, or the city doing this? It's the city put the Arts Commission together, right? Well, our council chose not to give us any money. So we are operating on whatever we can get donations. I can tell you that if you know who Dave Barcott is, he's been recovering from cancer. He does metal work, and if you've ever been into City Hall in the entryway, you will see it's mobile that has salmon on it. You have to look up to see it, but it's really quite unique. And anyway, he has offered to do the fish for us, and we'll have fish that will go around. We're also working with a conservation group that will give us both shrubs and smaller trees to plant in that area. So we're trying to work on one right now, just one roundabout to make it very inviting. Perhaps you're okay with the boulders that we have sitting in our roundabouts. But we hear from a lot of people, and even at public comment, that they would like to see us to do something with it. So the Arts Commission is working on that. Hopefully we'll have that done, hopefully by this fall. Question? No, that's absolutely right. No. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. Can't look any worse than what ours look like, though. Anyway, so I just wanted to put a plug in for that. And then also something that maybe might be closer to your heart, the mural at Hammer Heritage Square. Such a beautiful mural. We have searched endlessly for the individual who actually painted that, and we have not been able to locate him. The last we were told was that he is down south somewhere. But we would really like to bring that back to life. So I don't know if the Rotary might be interested in joining in with even the city. I know that I could make those funds happen where we could actually restore that, kind of bring that back to life. So those are the two plugs that I'm putting out there. And like I said, shamelessly, you can let me know if you disapprove or not, but I just wanted to let you know that. So I just want to say, as we're coming to the end here, I am very honored to work with the group of people that I do up at City Hall. They're professional, they're talented, and they're very caring individuals, and they do an amazing job. The beauty of it is that we work in tandem, we work so well together that they make everybody look good. Every department makes every other department look good. And it's just absolutely amazing what they do. I'm also honored to be your mayor. And I thank you very much for having me here today. I appreciate you all more than you know. And I certainly appreciate people who keep me encouraged, because this job that's supposed to be part-time, and I was warned, this job that was supposed to be part-time is not part-time. I work full-time and usually more than that. But let me tell you, I do it because I love it, and I love the city, and I care about what happens in Sedro Woolley. So I just want you to know that somebody was asking me, how many hours of volunteer have I put in? If you're getting paid for 20, then what's the other 20? And I think it's roughly around 7,500 hours I've put in the last 8 years serving you, and it's worth it. Every bit of it is worth it. So with that, if you have any questions, yes.
I have two questions, and it's about the Hammer Heritage. First of all, there was the red bricks, the memorial names in them. Is there any plan to ever restore those?
Oh, so, every now and then we get calls from people who do want them restored, and I give that information to Nathan, and they have it done. So there is a way to do that if there's certain, are you talking about the plaques or the bricks?
The bricks.
Yeah, the bricks we can replace if you want them replaced.
Yeah, the little memorial bricks.
Yes, yeah.
Second question is, can we get the music playing again?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. So Eric and I just got back from New Mexico. We were in Santa Fe, and the basilica there every hour. those chimes go off, and it's absolutely amazing. And it put me in mind of our Carol Bell. I don't know why they've been turned off, but I can certainly put a plug. I'll go back and try to find out what's going on there. I can do that.
That carillon is the same quality as the University of Washington's in their tower, but at first there were some complaints about it, but I think those complainers are gone now.
Oh, that's what. Is that really what happened?
And I think at certain times, like the 4th of July and Christmas, we should be using that carillon because it's worth. There was a lot of donations for that, and it was up to $40,000 item.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
You mentioned the population being over 15,000. Is that just the city limit?
13,000.
Projected to be 15 shortly.
Oh, I apologize if I misspoke. It's projected this year to end at about 13,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a projection as to what the urban growth area is, or is that a county record? Do you have any idea that, because that's a lot of people just in a short distance and are impacting traffic, but still bringing in students for schools and things to get money from that. But so if you have any ideas to where they stand in the building that's going on out in that area too.
So I don't, that would be county information. I think it would be fairly easy to look up. It would just have to probably Google it. But you're absolutely right. And I am mindful of that because people do live not too far away from the city. And when we make decisions within the city, I know that oftentimes those decisions we make impact those who live outside the city. So I'm glad you brought that up because they're kind of the forgotten few. And it's unfortunate.
Should we?
It's not a question. Thank you for calling me out a couple times. And I just want to return the favor because when I left mayor, I was a little nervous and, and you were new to me and I was put my faith in you and you haven't let me down. And what you showed us here today reminded me of all the great things that have happened while you're mayor. The park that we're sitting beside, what's going on up at Olmsted, all the great things. So I just want to thank you for fulfilling my vision for you, at least in the way that I had it, that I was passing on to somebody who was going to do a great job. And I am confident I made the right choice in supporting you at that time.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate those kind words.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate you having you here, even though you come all the time. Nice hearing about what's going on in the city. If you could say thank you to Dina for coming today, I'd appreciate it. Stephanie, thank you for coming today. And don't forget that we have a committee Christmas party meeting right back here at the back immediately afterwards. And if you could put we'll pick up tables and chairs. And one last thing, an idea for your roundabouts. The blackberry choked one at Clear Lake looks really nice. I mean, it's nice and green and got the little purple highlights in it. You may want to consider that. It's fairly easy maintenance, I guess, until the vines get about 50 feet long, but just keep that in mind. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. And we are, hang on, adjourned.